process, if your show up rate is shit, or if you want a streamlined process to your sales call confirmation, then this is all for you. So it starts with a sales call landing on your calendar. Okay. And at that point, one of two scenarios will happen. Depending on what your offer is, you may just get one type of avatar, pretty much the same, meaning that they're all in 9 to 5, they're trying to start a business, right? Or you may get different types of avatars. For example, at my last company, we were selling to salespeople, but they're from different industries. Some people from insurance, some people from door to door, some people are cold callers, some people are like they're selling high ticket. And so because of that, what I realized was, because in the process, we're going to be sending them a specific case study video that's similar to their situation. The reason why we do that is because, number one, it removes the objection of, will this work for me? Well, it doesn't remove it, but it reduces it, because they see other people doing it using the process, and then they got the desired outcome, right? Now, what I ended up seeing is that when I sent them like a generic one, I started getting more objections at the call, which is like, hey, will this work for me, so on and so forth. And yes, on your sales skills, on the sales call, you can prevent and overcome that, yes. But if you can even handle that even before the call, it just makes your life easier, right? So in that case, you may have different scenarios. If you sell BizOp, for example, you may have people who are completely new, right? 9 to 5, trying to start a business. Or they may be, they're already, let's say, for example, they already have an Etsy store, an e-com store, but they're trying to grow it. So you want to find out which type of avatar they are. It may say on your booking page, on the application, so you may already know, or it's in a type form or whatever it may be. If you already know that, then that's fine. And then based on that, you can send them a specific case study video on that. Now, if you don't know, then you can ask them. How you do that is by, and if you don't know the situation, you can call them. Okay. So you call them, and then you can find out. So if they answer, it's like, hey Jack, it's just from XYZ company. Yeah, it looks like you booked a call with me tomorrow about possibly getting, growing your Etsy store. Is that right? They're like, yeah. Okay, cool. So, typically, are you like, 9 to 5, trying to start a business, or you have one, or you're trying to grow? Just so we'll prepare for the meeting. They'd be like, I am trying to grow my existing store. Okay. And what kind of help do you feel specifically like that? So you can get it like just brief overview, like what kind of thing they're looking for. Based on that, you can send them a relevant thing. Okay. It's like, then you can be like, okay, so you remind me of actually one of our clients, Sally. Sally was actually also needing help with her SEO. And by us helping her with her SEO, she was able to double her revenue in the 60 days. So would you like me to send you that interview that we did with Sally? Because we do go over some of the insights that we can kind of take a look at. So yeah, sure, that'd be great. All right, cool. I'll send it to you. Just want to reply back. That way I know you got it. They're like, yeah, great. And you do that, they're like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. So at that point, you send them the email, and then the email copy, we can go over it. It kind of looks like this, right? So the subject line will say pre-meeting material for Jack, right? It doesn't have to be this exact, but this is the one I use. Tends to work quite well, right? And then in the body of the email, hi, Jack. So you insert the STR or the influencer name, depending on what it is. So if they said from the DM, and if they thought they talked to the influencer, then you plug in the influencer's name. If they talk to a setter, an SDR, then you plug in the setter's name, right? So it can be like, yeah, John let me know he or she had a great conversation with you today about possibly starting your business. All right? I have us booked in for a Zoom meeting on Monday, July 1st at 3 p.m. Eastern, EST. So we're going to do dates, date, time zone. Okay? So you do that. Please avoid being a car or outside, and instead be in a quiet area with good internet connection, so it's easier to communicate. So what this does is this removes a lot of the distractions, right? Shitty internet, loud noise, car that could be a distraction. Not like, it's not going to work 100% of the time, but it's going to remove a lot of that. Prior to the Zoom meeting, make sure to complete the following so that you can really maximize the meeting. First, how to get outcome using mechanism. So for example, if you're helping people with trading, how to make more money with trading and leave your 9 to 5 using the smart profit trading system, right? So at my last company, we had mechanism, right? So how to 2x your closing rate in 90 days using any PQ, something like that, right? Or how people are using this new model of selling in order to double their close rate, something like that. And then you can watch it here. And we had keynote of the influencer going over why what they tried in the past didn't work and why this is kind of different from what they're trying before, right? And then kind of laying out the process, something educational, right? Kind of going over the process. What this does, it increases solution awareness. So this is from a copywriting book called Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz. It's the OG of copywriting. So mainly there's 3 levels of awareness. There's unaware, meaning that they don't know what the problem is, they don't know what the solution is, they just don't know, right? These people, they're hopeless, okay? And there's problem aware, which is they're aware of their problem. Man, I hate my job. Man, I hate not being able to make more money. There's solution awareness. Solution aware is them being able to understand like, oh, there are solutions out there. Oh, I can start a business, right? And there's brand aware, which is, oh, so Jack is the GOAT at starting an e-com store. All right, great. And he's aware of it. And then there's a product aware, right? And so product aware is like, oh, this trading accelerator system, like that's the best to go. I'm pretty sure I skipped on it. Unaware, problem aware, solution aware, brand aware, product aware. There we go. That's 5, right? So what this does is it increases solution awareness, problem awareness, and brand awareness, depending on what the video is. If you just want to find one from your VSL page or from like the influencer YouTube channel, if they don't have one, either ask the influencer to make one or you make one. Okay, be solution oriented. Matt Ryder, he actually did this because he realized that on the sales call, yeah, he was still making sales, but people didn't know what the company exactly did. He ran a lot into that, and the business didn't have a video. So what he did was he made a Loom video by himself, going over the portal, like a walkthrough of the portal, the problems we solve, things like that. Right. So if there's no one, be solution oriented. And you want to hyperlink the video. Don't just put like a youtube.com/this. It looks messy and it's more likely to land in spam because the link looks messy. So you want to hyperlink it, right? So Command K or Control K if you use Windows, and you paste the link there, obviously in the email, right? And a lot of the CRMs, you can actually use a template, right? And close out your HubSpot, things like that. You can create a template where all of this is already typed out. Like it'll automatically change to their first name, and you can put your name, obviously. And you'll just change this part and maybe the case that you just kind of personalize to them. Okay. And two is you want to include usually a case study video. What it does, it gives people more certainty, increase the likelihood of success. So if, for example, they're in a 9 to 5, then you want to send someone a case study of who's in a similar situation, the most similar situation as them. If they're already existing trader, existing business owner, then you want to include a video and something, let's say they're struggling with lead generation, then you want to include a case study video where the client was struggling with lead generation. Now, how do you know which one to send them? You go through your business's case study videos. And then what you want to do is you want to create either a spreadsheet or a Google Doc of different categories of people that you can go to, boom, like insert, right? Oh, these are some clients. So in our past, in my past business, we had a Google Doc, a compilation of like, oh, the door-to-door reps, these are the case studies we send them. For cold callers, these are the case studies. For people that are young and they think they're too young to be successful in sales, we send them this. If they think they're too old, we have for this. So on and so forth, right? So how one of our clients, John, went from working too many hours in 9 to 5, being frustrated, to now making 10K a month, having the freedom that he wants, using the smart social media blueprints, right? And then you can watch here, again, hyperlink. Please ensure you complete the above prior to our Zoom meeting so that we can best help you. If you need anything else before then, you can call, you can email me back here or text me and you insert your CRM phone number. Best regards, your name. This is an email copy, okay? So you send them that, and after that, you want to send them a text, okay? Hey, Jack, it's just Brian, title. So they can be whatever the thing is, right? Account manager. It could be trading consultants, right? At Jack Smith's team, right? Or the company team, whatever they can better associate with, whatever they're more familiar with. Just send you an email to go through prior to our appointment on, if it's tomorrow morning, if it's like 2 days out, let's say it's Wednesday afternoon on the premium material. Send. Did you receive it? Send. Reason why we send two separate texts is because if you send one bulky text, what do you think? Just go through your phone. Just go through your messages and then look at all the ones you didn't reply to. It'll be like the spammy looking ones from like your telephone company or whatever it may be. And they all look bulky. When you see that, you don't want to read it. People have short attention spans now, and people are busy. So in between them going to the gym and way back home, they see a text, they don't respond to it. And if they don't respond to it, they're less likely to show up because they don't have skin in the game of actually confirming. Okay, so that's why you send, and then you send. And then what I found is that if you put a space between the word and the question mark, I think I found that this actually increases the chance of you getting a reply because it looks less automated. Because what kind of automated text have this? It's a more formal thing. So that's a more conversation thing, you know what I mean? So I learned majority of the process mainly from Anthony Fazzari, and I learned this part. So you want to keep a day and brief time. So you don't say Sunday 3 p.m. EDT because that looks automated, but you say Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, tomorrow evening, tomorrow morning, like a brief time frame, morning, afternoon, evening. Reason why is because when you're having plans with someone in real life, like your friends or a date, you typically don't say, "Hey, do you want an Uber to sushi at 8:00 p.m.?" Question mark. You don't really say that, right? You don't say, "Hey, do you want to ride to the concert at 9:00 p.m.?" Right? So you say, "Do you want to ride to the concert tonight? Do you want to ride to Seoul today? Do you want an Uber to sushi tonight?" So it's more conversational, right? So I learned this from Shane Hetherington. So you want to do that, and then you'll get a response or not a response. If you get a response, then you just say, let's say it's tomorrow. Great, chat tomorrow. Okay. Morning of the call. Do you have the link for our meeting this morning? Again, brief time frame. Okay. But make sure that consider their time zone. And typically, at least after 7:30 a.m., ideally after 8 a.m. Eastern their time, you want to actually, or 8 a.m. their local time, you want to send them the morning of the text. Okay. You can even schedule a text in your CRM and you can batch it. But the reason why we do it 8 a.m. or after their time is because if you send it too early, they get pissed off. So they're like, hey, you know what? Just cancel my call. I've gone through that. So especially if you sell from a different time zone, let's say you live in America, like Australia or Europe, and you sell to US time zone, you want to make sure you take into their lead's time zone into consideration. Okay. And then the lead shows up to the call, it doesn't show up. And this part, we go more over the no-show SOP, so we can refer to that. So this is a textbook example. If everything went right, this is what it looks like. Okay. And this was over WhatsApp. Hey, name, this is Brian, account manager at Influencers Names Team. Just send you an email to go through prior to our meeting Friday morning on the previewing material. Send. Did you receive it? Send. Hello, Brian. Yes, I received the email. Great. Chat tomorrow. Morning of, did you receive the Zoom link for our meeting today? And yes, I did. I had joined the meeting. Good chatting with you. I just emailed the enrollment page. Did that come through? This person, he was trying to borrow money from his sister, and I had to go to another call, so I sent him the link. And then, yeah, I got the email. I did the payment. I did the payment plan. So this person showed up and this person paid. Okay. Now let's go to a scenario where it's not so textbook, right? What if they don't respond to the confirmation process? What happens then? So let's say you're trying to find out their situation or problem because it doesn't send the booking page. You give them a call, they don't answer. Just send them an email with a general case study. It's fine. You don't need to harass them for that. And you send them a text, same text. At that point, let's say they don't respond, right? Hey, did you receive it? No response. Usually after about 3 to 4 hours, again, depending on the offer, okay? With like BizOp, typical BizOp or like a 9 to 5, for example, or let's say like salespeople, for example, I was actually dragging out the time between the first text and the follow-up text. I dragged it out to about 5 hours or so because I realized that salespeople on the phones all day, so they don't really pick up the phone. And I realized that me just like contacting right after 3 hours is some A-type people, quote unquote, they do get a bit annoyed. They're like, dude, I was on the phone all day. I was like, that's fair enough. So I started delaying it. That worked better. So depending on your offer, you may have to tweak these things, and then most likely you will. And that's the thing. It's like it's a testing thing, right? You don't test it after like 1 or 2 tries, but give it like maybe 20 or 30 different tries, and then see the responses, see the show up rate, so on and so forth. And then you start to make one change at a time. That's how you increase your show up rate. Okay. Now, let's say, but typical scenario, let's say they don't respond after this 3 hours. Did you miss my last message? Again, spacing between this one and the question mark. And so in your CRM, depending on what it is, Close.io, for example, you can actually set it's called a workflow. If you go to like the left corner of the CRM, I wish I could open it up, but I don't have Close.io right now. But if you do that, you'll find like a workflow section. Okay. And there you can basically set up a workflow, which is an automated text or email sequences. So if they don't reply, you can set a condition where it automatically sends this text. If they reply, this doesn't send. Okay. And then after this, let's say they still don't respond. After about 2 hours, you give them a call. Either they'll answer, then be like, hey Jack, this is Brian from XYZ's team. Yeah, I sent you an email prior to go through before meeting tomorrow. Did you receive it? They're like, oh, no, I received it. Just didn't have time to reply. Yeah, no problem. No issues accessing it. All right, cool, sweet. I'll see it tomorrow. Right? Like, oh, I didn't get it. Oh, it probably landed in your spam or promotions. Do you just want to check that real quick? They're like, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I got it. All right, awesome. And then do that. Now, if they still don't answer, from here you can make a decision. Now, if you're low on lead flow, keep the call and stop following up because they may still show up. And depending also on the lead source, because there's certain lead sources where the show rate is just typically higher. Because there's some lead sources where it's just a show rate shit, they don't reply, they don't show up. And there's some lead sources where they don't reply, they don't confirm, but they still show up. And also this is depending on the offer and the marketing as well. Okay. So if you're lower on lead flow, you still have room in your calendar, then keep the call. Now, if your calendar is already packed, right? Everyone else confirmed, but this person doesn't confirm. And then you have calls booked further out. So you could just go pack in more calls. Then you can actually send them basically a hey, leave it on the table kind of text, and then you double book it. So it kind of sounds like this. If I hadn't heard from you, unfortunately, would have to elevate someone else from the waiting list. Send. If something else came up, let me know. I'm happy to find out time for us to speak. Send. You want to text this, and also you want to send them an email. Obviously, in an email, you can send one at a time. This whole thing in one email because in an email is more contextually. It's fine to have longer things. On text, it's usually shorter, right? So you want to do that, and from here, depending on the demographic, you may have to soften it a little bit. Because in BizOp, for example, typically you wouldn't really have issues with this. They're like, oh, no, I was just busy. Sorry, I'll be there tomorrow. Boom, perfect. And then you can be like, yeah, great, see you tomorrow. Then you can keep that person on the calendar. But with some offers, people will be like, they may kind of push back a little bit. Dude, like, what the fuck, right? He's like, hey, dude, like, I was just busy. He's like, oh, dude, no worries. You have to soften up the language a little bit, but this is like a default one, okay? And what you do is with different booking softwares, you cannot double book. Double booking is basically where you could book 2 people in one calendar slot. So 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., you can pack in 2 people. Okay, one sub can do this. I believe Calendly at the moment cannot. You can still look into it. You can ask your tech team or your sales manager, but typically you cannot mark free. But if you can mark free, so the person is unresponsive, you send them this, even after like an hour or two, they still don't respond. Then you can mark them free, and then on your calendar you can mark that person as red. You can color code it, so another person can get booked in. Okay, that way you have both. So this is the confirmation process. Go implement it. Let me know if you get questions.